Hey everyone, I got a copy of Teen Titans Annual #1 from a generous donor, Sergeant Bats. Thanks, Bats. I read it, and I'm going to review it. Stay tuned. This is the Ash on Comics Show channel, whatever you want to call it, where I review comics, talk about comic culture, that sort of stuff. And my name's Ash. Today's comic, Teen Titans Annual #1. Full disclosure, I am not a Teen Titans fan. Never could get into them. Not normally a fan of Robin as a character. Not a fan of teen heroes in general either. I think kind of silly to me to have characters who aren't old enough to drive a car, but yet can go out and wield immense powers and fight crime, and the world accepts it. Yeah. But that's just full disclosure for me, so you know where I'm coming from. If you think I have a little bias or don't, I do try to overcome my bias on a lot of things. For instance, I didn't used to be a DC fan until 2018. But I opened my mind, gave it a shot, and I've really started to like a lot of things. I used to think Hawkman is the dumbest character out there. It's now my favorite comic book. So I am capable of changing my mind. But just to be transparent. So the annual starts off, what I find is pretty good art, pretty appealing art. We see here we're outside a bar. Robin narration. I'm an only child, sort of. See, my father collects lost children, and they all seem to end up strangely fascinated with me, but I tolerate them until they cross me. You look like crap, Todd. Robin vs. Robin by Adam Glass, Ryan Benjamin as penciler. And here we see little Damien. I forget how old Damien is supposed to be, like 12? I think he was 2 years older than John before Bendis destroyed him, if I recall correctly. So he's like 12, maybe 13, maybe he's like on the cusp. I don't know. Okay. But the point is, he's a kid. Here we see Jason Todd, who, if I remember correctly, was the second Robin after Grayson. If I'm wrong, Bats will shred me. I'm really was digging the art on this. The pencils were appealing from a aesthetic. Facial expressions are good. The paneling is very cinematic. You can get a feel of what's happening, and the emotions on the characters. So all in all, it started off pretty good. We basically see here little Damien is confronting Jason Todd, aka the Red Hood, about a mission that he went on or something. And it's kind of a little cliche story about, we did this, it went bad, oh, sorry to hear that, da-da-da-da. Turns out, you're the only one who knew. Stabs him with the dart, and it's, you must have ratted on us. And it's, okay, I'm a kind of a fan of those type of stories. I'm a fan of, like, resistance movement type stories where it's a little band of rebels versus a larger threat, like Terminator, The Matrix, or Star Wars, or what have you. And those type of movies often will have, like, traitors in their midst or things like that. Sorry there, I paused for a second because I had a cough. I don't know if I'll edit that out or not, but anyways, yeah, the traitor in your midst thing is kind of cliche, and it works sometimes in a dark, noir tone. But these are superheroes, right? Superhero. This whole, like, I'm just going to stab you and ask questions later, it's not very heroic. I gotta say, in modern comics, heroes fighting heroes is getting a little tiresome to me. And especially DC. I don't like to see it as much because DC is more about aspirational heroes than I forget what the other type is called. But these are supposed to be characters that we like look up to, that rise, that are beyond what like we would ever be ourselves. And Robin is this. I mean, he's an assassin who is the literal son of Batman. And Batman's trying to raise him right and get him to change his ways. But here he's just written like a psychopath. I mean, it's like he's coming to attack the other Robin. You set us up. What are you talking about? Nobody knew we were there, blah, blah, blah. And he just kicks him in the face, punches him. And Red Hood's just like, Damian, don't do this. He's just like, grabs his fist. Now, this is something that I appreciated. Oh, sorry, my mouse I can't go down there and highlight because this I felt was right. This is a 12-year-old boy, and this is one of the problems I have. I have a hard time. If this guy had superpowers, like he shot energy blasts from his fist or something, it might make sense. But he's literally just a human boy with some training. But he's still like, what, 80 pounds soaking wet? He's throwing this punch. I mean, he's just going to catch it in his fist. I don't care how badass you are. Maybe to some guy who's absolutely like never been in a fight in his life, yeah, that's going to matter. But this guy can go head to head with Batman. So I appreciated that the writer was like, look, don't mess with me, kid. Like, I'm going to stomp you. And he kind of does. Damian gets a couple licks in because he's quick and wily and stuff. And because Jason Todd's kind of holding back. I mean, this is the son of his mentor. And I mean, he's not just going to beat up the kid, right? What kind of problem you run into, but he pulls out this box and Jason's like, where'd you get that? Doesn't matter. I've got it. What's in there is my business. It's bigger than this whole crusade. Even Batman wouldn't stoop this low, but you would. The truth now. The truth is, now I'm pissed. And he knocks it away. And he's like, never liked wearing a cape. He grabs by the cape, thwops him into the truck here, and just starts pounding on him. And I'm just like, looking at this, I'm like, this is a fully grown man going hard into like a 12-year-old boy. That kid is not getting up. 12-year-old boys cry from spankings, much less full-on beatdowns. So I kind of appreciated that this went the way I felt like it should. And then this got a little bit twisted. Damian's got a bomb. How's this for finish? Because even if I lose, I'm going to win. And then he says, nice bluff, kid. I've been dead once, so have you. And you lost the minute you showed up here. And he picks up his little chest thing and says, I'll put you all, or he says, if any of you guys, what does he say? I'm out. If you or your team come looking for me, I'll put you all on the ground. And we get the little voiceover. I'm an only child, sort of. See, my father collects lost children, and for the first time in a long time, I feel I may be one of them. And so, was that Batman watching? And then we get part 2. So that was into part 1, and we get part 2, also by Adam Glass, but now different pencils, Jose Luis. And this is kind of where, this is the bigger story. I like this little prelude, even though I didn't like seeing Dan being a psychopath. It made me feel like this is more of what's going on in the Titans continuity, and then this story over here just felt like your random story that annuals have become. And it's like joy to the world. I feel it's so funny. I feel like this was written for a Christmas episode, and then like it got laid, or I don't know. So we got this character named Joystick who can walk around and he touches people, and he goes boop, and basically controls their minds. And then we see Red Arrow here. She's getting all frustrated. She's having to pick up after these kids. Because, get it, want the kids. And she's like the mother hen. Oh, they're out there and I don't have to babysit. And she's like, they never practice. And then, of course, she walks out and they're all practicing. Like, oh, look. So they're doing their thing and whatever. We get all the different characters. We got Flash and Lobo Girl and Ball Boy. I don't even remember their names. They just weren't interesting to me. And then we got this other character, Jin, who's literally a 4,000-year-old genie, but she's a teen titan. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know who this Red Arrow character is. I'm assuming it's part of the Arrowverse. One of the million legacy characters that DC just can't stop making. It's like, we need a team of new Teen Titans. What should we do? Let's make kids of existing characters. I know Bats, if he's watching right now, is groaning, raising his fist at me or something, because he loves legacy characters, and I'm sure lots of DC fans too. So I'm not making fun of anyone. If you like that, and we all have our shticks, right? We all have things that we like. I just don't personally like it. And I just feel it's uncreative. Especially when it's used like in this way, you know? Like if you're writing a Flash book and you've got like the Son of Flash and it's part of the Flash thing, but it's like literally just these characters don't interact with each other. You've got a Flash on Young Justice, you've got a Flash on Teen Titans, you've got a Flash on Justice League, you've got a Flash on actual Titans, I think. It's just, they're just there to be carbon copies, I feel like. And it's just, why don't we have a Lobo book? Why do we have a Lobo daughter, but there's not even a Lobo book? Anyways, sorry, I'm rambling off. So they're practicing and they get an alert. Oh no, something's going down at the mall. All right, so here we have all the people, you know, rioting at the mall because this character Joystick is controlling them. And he's got some girls fighting each other for a sick fetish. And the Titans show up. And they're like, hey, weirdo. Oh? What the hell did you do to these people? Whatever I want and whenever I want. That's why they call me Joystick. And I thought this was kind of a funny panel. Because they're just like, huh? And then, blah, ha, ha, ha. They all bust out laughing. So they're like, what's so freaking funny? Oh, your name, it's dumb. Which is ironic because his name is Rollerball. And so they're going to go get him, and he's got his joystick thing trapped, so Flash gets zotted. And then Jen shows up, and she's like, I sense within you a deep insecurity that drives your need to overcompensate with performative egotism and control. Because, you know, get it? Overcompensate with his joy. So she's going to show him, and he's like, blah, 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 you a witch or something? I am 4,000-year-old genie. Sweet, do you like grant wishes and stuff and live in a bottle? Those are offensive stereotypes. And I was like, I was like, are you kidding me? She's a 4,000-year-old genie. She's not a fucking millennial. Those are offensive stereotypes. She comes from a time where they like literally beheaded people for looking the wrong way or saying the wrong terminology, you know, about a religion or something. Like, it's just, she comes from the most barbaric, crazy times of, those are offensive I was, whatever. And she thinks she's got the one up on him. She makes this little joystick thing disappear, but it's like, surprise on you. That was just a gimmick for his branding, which I thought was kind of funny. He's like, boop, I'm the real Joystick, and he takes control of her. So I thought this was kind of interesting because this little goober villain that I think feels to me like a throwaway villain that they just came up with for an episode is like super powerful. He can control this 4,000-year-old Jin who herself has got uber powers. And he's like, hot damn, this is way better than Fortnite. All right, that's going to be dated in a year. But so he's saying he's kicking all their asses with her. And so Red Arrow tries to fight, and he starts explaining, Jen knows you don't trust her, but she respects you anyway. And he's talking about how like he can get in her mind, so he knows everything that Jin knows. She thinks you're the most dangerous, and then after Kid Flash. So since I've already KO'd the Speedster, that means you're next. Then Rollerball or whatever tries to come in. He fails. Jin, Lobo Girl, I don't really remember her name. Crush, I think's her name. Tries to grab her and say, like, snap out of it. I know you're in there. Which is, cliche always. It's like, and then here we are in Jin's mind, which I thought was kind of interesting, which is pretty messed up. And he's like, we're inside your head. Gotta say, I've been in a lot of people's heads, and I've seen some pretty messed up stuff, but you're definitely the worst one yet. If your friends only knew the truth about you, it'd be pretty bad if I slipped and it all came out. It's like, you will not tell them. You cannot. Yeah? And how exactly are you going to stop me? And I kind of like that they're like watching like a video game play out, and she's like, no, she like starts strangling him, and he's laughing because he's like, this is just all in your head. You can't actually hurt me. So on the outside, he's saying, oh, hey, Arrow, your friend Jin's been really holding out on you guys. So I'm going to fill you in on some of her secrets. And let's see. I'm sitting here, I'm trying to figure out what was going on. She's like, let me tell you something that ain't so little. Jin's ring. And so, wait, what's my connection? And so she breaks it, and it turns out, because the whole thing is because she's a genie and she's tied to this ring, whoever has the ring is kind of like the bottle, like she has to answer to, which overpowers his connection. So that she breaks free, frees everyone else, like, hey, you can't do that, blah, blah, blah. And then Crush comes in and punches him and knocks him out, of course, because he's a big wussy. And she's like, oh, friends, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. And Red Arrow gives her back her ring. She tells her that I know you're a good person, yada, yada. Now he's in jail with these big fat gloves. And she shows up saying, hello, Sullivan. Hey, would you look at that? Miss me already? Happy to take you for another ride. And she's like, I have maintained my freedom for many moons, but today you took that from me. So she's expressing to him that, look, actually, he says to her, relax, Jeannie, he was just having a little fun. I went to school with plenty of girls like you. You think you're so great and so pretty and everything revolves around you, but now I'm in control and I'm going to get out of here and take what's... Shush. She takes away his mouth. Believe it or not, I too wish to be freed from this place. Wish you to be freed from this place. It's a terrible thing to be in prison, so you get a little bit of empathy from her as being a genie in a bottle. But should I ever hear a single whisper of my history and discover you originated from you, I will hunt you down and remove something else, something far worse. End of part 2. So this is that story. So it's just a simple little, filler story. The in itself is harmless, whatever. But what bothered me is you're paying $5 for this book, and the art is okay. The story is meh. But this character does not feel heroic to me. She feels kind of sinister. And this guy right here is just super stereotypical misogynist, which is all the hot topic right now in progressive culture, that men being misogynistic to women and da-da-da-da-da. And, it's like, we got to have this, relax, Jeannie, I was just having a little fun, and kind of build him all up to be this big misogynist so the girl can shut him up. And this just came off really cliche and just really borderline political. I don't want to... It's not really in your face. I just see it because I'm so inundated with SJWs just hammering. I mean, I myself recently just got under the under the hammer of hundreds of SJWs accusing me of being misogynistic for the most innocuous of tweets. They're just freaking out about it, and this just seems oh, here's the girl teaching the big, and this guy is genuinely, I mean, he's a bad guy, but it's just it's so on the nose that it just is I cringe when I read it, and I'm just this whatever. Then we get this epilogue. And here we see, this is from the first part of the story, but still looks like by the same artist. Robin coming in on his bike and collapsing because he just took a beat down. Robin, what's happened to you? Don't tell. Worry not. She hugs him. I can keep a secret. And then Crush hears in her voice something that that Joystick had said that I skipped over before telling secrets. It's like when he said to her, she really likes you, Crush, but man, she cannot stop thinking about this Robin kid. In fact, this is all she thinks about. So Crush is just, look at this freaky-eyed psycho, like jealousy, madness in these eyes. Look at these. And she's like looking around, sees this bat car, bat symbol. This is Danny's car, and she just destroys it. And I was just like, what the? First of all, you got the gender politics of the lesbian. Oh, my lesbian lover likes Robin. And it's like, for frick, I'm just getting tired. Like, I am so tired of every like, we went from, hey, having homosexual characters in comics is like this daring thing to do, to where now it's just everywhere, in your face, all the time. Everywhere are homosexual. Like, the ratio of homosexuals in superheroes is way higher than like normal human populace. It's just like, oh, if you're a superhero, the chances go up 100% or 200%, 500%. I don't know, that you're going to be homosexual, because so many. And then of course she's just this raging lesbian, which of course fits this image that they've have her look physically. And this is just, again, a heroic character, like, destroys the car. You're a villain. Yeah. Anyways, that's the book. So, I don't know how long I've been recording on this, but I didn't really like it. It's not a painful book by any means. I mean, I was reading it, and I was mildly entertained when I was going through it. I like the first chapter, or the first part, actually better than the second, even though I didn't like the portrayal of Damien. I liked the way the art style played out. I liked the fight scenes. I liked the dialogue. If I didn't actually care about the Damien character, I think it would have played a lot better for me. But since I did like the Damien character, or since I do like the Damien character, I didn't like the way he was portrayed, so it detracted. But I do give credit where that's the best part of the book. The second story is the big filler thing. And this is the reason I don't buy annuals. They're just fluff stories that are usually pretty mediocre with mediocre talent. They're not special anymore. So I have to give it a thumbs down. It's $4.99. And that's just too much. That's too much for mediocrity. And then, like I said, I pointed out the annoyance things that were in the book before. So a lot of people apparently been giving this good reviews. I've told a couple people, the fellow YouTubers, what my thoughts were going to be before putting this. And they were like, what? This is what you thought of it? They were real shocked. So that's what it is. Sorry to disappoint. I kind of feel bad. Like, I kind of think that I should go along with the flow. Like, well, everyone likes it, so what's wrong with me? Why don't I like it? But I got to stick to my guns and go with my opinions. I hope I conveyed the reasons why, and that you can at least see them. Even if you disagree with me, you can say, well, okay, there's some points to be made there. None of those things I thought were really good. And the book overall to me was kind of annoying. And even if the story is halfway interesting, I don't want to be annoyed. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.